This one is a little more specific. Cubs, your resolution, look yourself in the mirror and be the real Cubs. Strive for 5 in 2025. 5 what? Runs. 5 runs a game is what I want out of this Cubs offense. It's going to take Kyle Tucker. It's going to take a big season from Nico Hoerner. It's going to take a real Dansby Swanson season. It's going to take a lot of things. The Cubs were 12th in baseball last year in runs per game at 4.54. Here are the top teams in 2024. There were 3 that averaged 5 per game. The Diamondbacks, Dodgers, and Yankees. 2 of the 3 ended up where? World Series.
World Series.
Okay. The other one somehow, amazingly, didn't make the postseason. But if you combine it with what they're doing with pitching now and Corbin Burns, you could see how they would be good again.
And they were
still a good team right on the fringe, right?
On the
and we're at the World Series before that. But so there were 2 teams of the top 3 teams that averaged 5 went to the World Series. It went D-backs, Dodgers, Yankees, Orioles, Phillies, Brewers, Mets, Padres. Only the Diamondbacks didn't go to the postseason. Teams that score 4 3/4 runs to almost 5 runs a game go to the postseason. So Cubs, take out the guesswork. Score 5 runs a game. Come back with the rotation you had last year and hopefully a little bit more, and go ahead and get it done in 2025. Strive for 5 in 2025. 5 runs a game. I don't want the roller coaster ride where we go for a week without a run, and then 20 the next game. I want 5 a game, and it will put you in the mix to be in the postseason.
You're pushing my narrative about how the offense is more important than anything else.
It's what we said at the end of the year. There's a lot of problems with the Cubs, but the offense was still the top of my list.
Yeah, no, and it still is. I know I've been talking a lot about pitching over the last month when it comes to the Chicago Cubs. I still think this team needs another arm for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, they do need bullpen help. But, you know, a lot of people, Godfather, loves to talk about the closer, this and that. But listen, man, those teams you just mentioned, Luke, the teams that blow teams out, the teams that are scoring a ton of runs per game, they don't need a closer every game. Yeah, how many one-run games the Cubs playing last year? They led baseball.
I think it was 800. Did they play that many?
They led
baseball. It felt like 800.
They led baseball.
They lost a lot of those, too.
In one-run games. And sure, some of those games they scored a lot of runs in, and then the bullpen blew it. No doubt. So, again, yeah, I don't disagree that they don't have bullpen problems. I've been sitting here saying that they need to add bullpen help. But you also got to win some easy ones. You got to give your fans a little bit of a rest instead of putting us through stress for 162. All right. So yeah,
strive for 5.
Are we striving for 5? Sure. And I think, and this I don't necessarily think this is hoping and wishing. This is all based off what I am projecting for a lot of guys. I'm expecting Matt Shaw to be a serviceable major league player. I just said earlier in the show that I expect him to give them more value at third base than they got it from anyone at third base last year. If he does that, if Nico and Dansby give you 2023 versions of them,
PCA takes the next step.
Which you need your young players to do it. Every team needs that. You can sit here and talk about money and paying guys this and that. I'm with you. Listen, I did enough ranting about not even calling Juan Soto. But at the end of the day, even some of those teams that are giving out that kind of money, they need their young players to pan out too. The Mets are a great example with Mark Vientos last year, all right? The Cubs definitely need some of their young players to pan out. And they can do what Luke is asking if that happens. They're going to need PCA to be at least a 4-WAR player next year. For sure. They're going to need it. They're going to need Ian Happ to be what Ian Happ has always been. They're going to need Dansby and Nico to be more like 2023 version. They're going to need Matt Shaw to be a productive player. And they're going to need Michael Busch
to stay healthy.
To stay healthy. Michael Busch to take a step forward from last year too. They will need a lot of those things. And I don't think I'm necessarily hoping and wishing for a lot of that. I think those are projectable things that are realistic.
Maybe no, Cody. Those are exceeding projections.
So anyway, yeah. But I don't disagree that they don't need another bat. Anyone who thinks they need another bat, I agree. But if we're living in reality here, I think this lineup is pretty much set, and they're probably going to add another guy to go in and platoon with Matt Shaw. That's what I think is reality.
We all silly like the mayor.